Ooh. Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this doesn't work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods on this Friday. It is freaking Friday. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much for getting us through this week. Just get through the day, and I'm going to take tomorrow off. I mean, as much as I take off, I'm going to be working here at the house and stuff, trying to work on the man cave. I haven't done much down here in a while, but the season is only 76 days, 11 hours, 15 minutes, and 40 seconds away. So we got to get this place ready. We got to get the look, the stuff on the wall, spackle some holes, make sure I got all my wiring hooked up. Lots of work to do here, as well as the outside man cave, because I want to make sure that this season that we are able to bring you stuff and news like nobody else, and I mean nobody. And I won't rest until I am able to do that. But even when I'm able to do that, I will still continue to try and do more. Sorry about the extra sips of coffee. I've been doing my keto diet and stuff, and I ran out of my keto bomb coffee creamer, and I bought a different one at Target. And most things that are without sugar have that aftertaste, that saccharine. Ugh. But the keto bomb doesn't have that, and it ran out. Amazon delivered it, thank God, last night, and it just tastes so much better. I can't drink coffee now without it. So I was just enjoying that first couple of sips this morning. So here we are, the hold your breath time of the season, where we've had a little taste of football with the OTAs, the mini camp, the draft, and all that. And now it's the pause. It's the chance to catch your breath before the sprint that is to the Super Bowl. And this is a time that you're praying that nothing bad happens. So we've made it through another week so far with nothing bad happening with any of our players. And so this is the silly season. We saw that crazy article that it's time to trade Dak Prescott. Yeah, okay. That's assuming that you can just get another quarterback, but we're not even going to go through that because, there's a whole subculture now of alleged Dallas Cowboy fans that make it their point just to hate our quarterback. That no matter what the statistics say, they are going to, I hate Dak. He sucks. He's not the quarterback. Get rid of him. He's a bum. And I can guarantee you, when the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with my quarterback, Dak Prescott, they're going to say, oh, it was the offensive line. It was Zeke. It was all these other people. Dak was just, along for the ride. You know what? There's no point even trying to talk to you guys anymore because you guys will never, ever be satisfied. You just won't be. Ever. And, you enjoy the hate. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but I believe in my quarterback, Dak Prescott. But that's not what I was talking about this Friday morning. The Dallas Cowboys have gone through a long stretch, without winning a Super Bowl. And we've tried a lot of different things as far as building teams, because ultimately, you do have to have talent on a team to win. Trickery will only get you so far. You might surprise people here and there, but ultimately you have to have talent, not just 1 to 22. You got to have talent from 1 to 53. You have to have people in roles that are ready to take up the slack when somebody in your front line gets hurt. And that's one of the problems the Dallas Cowboys have had. You can look at the Cowboys, and they've always had tons and tons of Pro Bowlers, but when you got past that top layer, you had the big drop off. Now, one thing that New England does, and this is where I know the haters are going to go out there and say, how dare you compare your Dallas Cowboys to the New England Patriots? How dare you? What I'm saying is the Cowboys are learning from New England. New England doesn't typically have a lot of Pro Bowl players on their team. Why? Because they have multiple players playing in multiple positions, okay? They are able to take a guy who may be young, plug him in. When he starts to get really good, they let him go and get draft picks for him. And then keep plugging these players in here. And it's also, too, they use players that maybe I only have 10 plays for you a game. but they're 10 plays that are going to give us a different look and advantage over somebody else. So players are playing a lot of different things. And that is a great way to be able to absorb what is attrition in the NFL, which is losing players, because we can shift to something else. It means that you don't end up with a lot of Pro Bowl players per se, but you end up winning. And in the end, that's what it's about. Another thing that they do, as far as talent is they go through and they sell the idea to players that may be a little older or may have had a bad year that come to us. We'll give you an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. We'll give you an opportunity to resurrect your career, and then you can go elsewhere and get another big fat contract. And since they basically rent people for a year or two, you can look what they did with Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers, boom, ended up blowing up, and people are like, how can you let that guy go? Well, because we're going to get a compensation pick, a comp pick for him. And we'll go ahead and get somebody else. And then they'll make a move, and they'll get Bennett to fill in. So they didn't necessarily step down that far. They let him go, they get a draft pick, and they got a guy to plug the hole now. And that's what the Cowboys are kind of doing somewhat now. I have the 4 R's: revenge, redemption, and oh my God, respect. I'm having a brain fart here, getting old. The Cowboys are learning from this model. You'll remember when we signed Brandon Carr. We went through, got Brandon Carr, $54 million, thought he was going to be a shutdown corner, and paid almost all of that contract for the whole time, but never really got the value out of it. Now you've got Robert Quinn. You got Kerry, you got Christen Covington, and you've got Randall Cobb. Guys that you could look at and say, okay, they're on other teams. You know, some of them had a down year last year, had kind of fallen back to earth, and the Cowboys, sign them to a 1-year deal, which makes them hungry because they're saying, you know what, I got to play for my football life. For Robert Quinn, if you look at his statistics, he wants to get back to where he was in 2017, where he had 8.5 sacks, or better yet, back to where he was in 2014 when he had 10.5 sacks. And, you know, last year in Miami, kind of playing in a cesspool, not really playing the position that he should, ended up with 6.5. Not bad. Not bad at all, but not the big payday big. And see, the Cowboys, of course, signing him to an $8 million contract, $2 million of which is incentives. It's an opportunity for the Cowboys just to rent him. And here's the great thing. Some people say, well, you should have signed him for a longer deal. Well, if you sign for a longer deal, then that means you're taking more of the risk. And then some people will say, well, what if he plays great next year? And then his price tag is going to go way up. Well, then you let him walk. Because you'll get a compensatory pick. In fact, what you really want him to do is you want him to get back to like 2012 or 2013 and end up being a guy that you say we can't live without, because he'll sign with somebody else and you'll get a number 3 draft pick. That's why New England is always good. They won the Super Bowl and still had 12 draft picks this past year. It's the same thing when you look at, say, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb, you look at some of the numbers where he's had fantastic seasons, like, 2014, 1,200 yards, even 2015, 800 yards, 79 catches. But the last couple of years, it's been kind of down. Now, some of that is because Aaron Rodgers has been injured quite a bit and missing time. And last year, of course, having an injured leg. So with him having a 1-year deal that's only valued at $4.5 million, he's got to show his wares for his football life. He does really, really well. Maybe Cowboys say, we want to give you a longer contract and keep you, or you let him walk and you get a compensatory pick. This is how the game is now played in the NFL. And the Cowboys have been doing pretty well with this and letting some guys walk. Famously, and people jumped off the bridge when we didn't re-sign DeMarco Murray. They said you had the NFL leading rusher and you let him walk. Yeah, we did. But we got a fourth round compensatory pick that we used to draft our quarterback, Dak Prescott. Hmm. So in the end, you've got Kerry Hayter. Kerry Hayter is another guy. 1 year deal. Detroit Lions defensive tackle. In 2016 had 36 tackles, 8 sacks. Fantastic. But then kind of disappeared. He again is another guy. Only paying him $800,000. Under Rod Marnelli, opportunity to go ahead and learn from one of the best, as I put it, defensive line whisperer. He goes through and he gets back to where he was in 2016. They're going to be backing up a Brinks truck. Another guy, Covington, 1 year deals. This is where the Dallas Cowboys have gotten smart. And it all is relative because here's the thing about it. When you look at keeping the cornerstone pieces, the DeMarcus Lawrence, your Zeke Elliott, your Dak Prescotts, your Amari Coopers, and signing those guys to big contracts, what you have to do is you have to find valuable people and pieces that you can get at maybe a little bit of a discount or with a chip on their shoulder that are out there to perform because they have to. When you have a guy who is a free agent who's, busted his ass the year before, and I'm not saying that they're doing this intentionally, but you sign them to a big fat contract that's 4 or 5 years long, and they get that big signing bonus to start with, and I know I'm gonna be here a minimum 2 years, and I'm gonna get me 25 or $30 million. You're not quite as hungry. You might take a day or two off. You might say, you know what, I'm gonna eat that extra Snickers bar or two tonight because my refrigerator's full. But you got 4 guys right there that are playing for their football lives and their next contract. And those aren't the only ones. We have several other guys that are in that same situation. And that, my friends, is what you want. You want guys that are fighting to survive. All right, it's Friday. I got to go up here, get these drawers put in this cabinet, go to the dump, go to Don's house because they're moving in this weekend, get those installed, put on some base molding, touch up some paint, and I am done for the weekend. Whew. I'm Mark Holmes. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and I guess even hating me. Yeah. Thanks for even hating me, because that means then I'm getting into your head. I am driving you crazy. That you think about me all the time. That's actually pretty powerful. So I guess I'll respect the hate. I'll see you guys soon.